Let's look at the third one of the three components of the total cash flow that we need to find for every year of our investment project. This one is called change in net working capital. So why do we need the word change? Can we just say net working capital for each year? And first of all, what do we mean by net working capital? So let's cover all that on the next few slides. By definition, net working capital, or NWC, is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. From a standard balance sheet, current assets are on the left, part of total assets, and they include everything that's cash or like cash, so something that could be quickly and easily sold for cash. So the three main components are cash, inventory, and accounts receivable. Accounts receivable is when somebody else owes money to the company. For example, if the company sells its product on credit, then the amount of money that's has not been received yet is temporarily recorded under accounts receivable. Current liabilities include accounts payable, and they also include short-term loans. So current assets minus current liabilities, the difference between the two, reflects how much the cushion that the company has invested its cash into, so that the current liabilities can be covered as needed, and there is more remaining, right? What do we mean by change in net working capital? Change means when over 1 year we have increased the amount of net working capital. So for example, what does it mean that the change in net working capital for some year is positive? That will happen if a firm invested more money into current assets. For example, it set aside more cash or increased its inventory, which cost its money, right? Or increased how much money somebody else owes the firm, which is like, the money that it's missing out on, right? Or the net working capital is positive if instead the current liabilities have been decreased, right? So it means, if we decrease current liabilities, it means we paid off some of our short-term debt, right? And paying it off means that the money has left the firm. So that's kind of, a bad thing. We have paid money, right? And if we set aside cash or increase inventory, it also implies paying money. So either one of the two or a combination of both, it results in the change in net working capital that is positive. Negative would be the other way around. So negative change in net working capital means that rather than investing money, we receive money. So how can we receive money? If we, for example, sell inventory, right? So we have less inventory, or we have less in accounts payable to us, which means that whatever somebody owed us, now they paid that amount back to us. So we have collected some cash. And if we instead invest more money into current liabilities, it means that we now owe more money, right, to somebody else. And how would that happen? If we borrow more, so we have extra cash, right? So a positive net working capital means we spend money. A negative change in net working capital means we receive money. If the change in net working capital for some year is 0, it means that, for example, we kept the same amount of cash on hand as we did last year. So the cash account has not changed. Or maybe what has not changed is the accounts payable, or inventory, or accounts receivable, right? So any of these components of current assets or current liabilities should be unchanged from one year to the next. That's how we get the change in net working capital as $0. So it's kind of like a lot of different examples that I'm mentioning here: cash, accounts payable, accounts receivable, inventory.